Hi guys, welcome back to Dadlicious Eats. Apologies that it's been a while since I've posted. Been away on holiday, been super busy, but I'm back now and we're looking to get more recipes over to you. Today we're going to be making Jajangmyeon, which is a Chinese Korean dish. It's a black bean noodle dish and the children absolutely love it. It's super cheap to make. If you buy this for 4 people in a restaurant, you're looking at 40–50 pounds. You can make this probably for about £7–8 pounds. As always, it would be amazing if you could like this video, share it. It really helps me spread the word that it doesn't have to cost a lot of money to make good food. If you've got a question, just drop it below. I'll get right back to you. Time to get cooking. Ingredients for this. We've got a couple of slices of pork belly. You don't have to add in meat, but if you want to, it's certainly a really good addition. You could also put in some ground meat if you want. We've got some daikon radish, a couple of tablespoons of sugar, some cucumber, which will be for garnish, 1 potato, 1 courgette or zucchini. I'm using 3 shallots, but you could use half or even whole onion if you want, 1 clove of garlic, Korean black bean paste, which is called Chunjang, and then a little bit of sesame oil. So first things first, it's time to chop up the vegetables. So we want them fairly small. So we're going to cut them up just like this, but you still want them large enough so they're a mouthful. So I'm going to cut up half of the courgette that size, and then probably the other half is going to be half that size. The joy of this is you can use pretty much any noodles you want that you've got kicking around. You would typically use a specific Korean Jajangmyeon noodle, but they're not that easy to get hold of unless you've got access to an Asian supermarket. So today I'm just going to use regular instant dried noodles. As with all my recipes, use whatever you've got to hand. If you've not got one ingredient, then just make do with what you do have. The one thing that you do need for this dish certainly is the black bean sauce. With the potato, we're going to chop that up into fairly small pieces as well. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. Really appreciate you coming. It's been a while since I've posted a video, so apologies for that. If you're not a subscriber, why not go ahead and click that button now? I've got loads of great recipes that I want to share with you, and hopefully we can discover some new stuff together. So the potato is done. Let's just pop some of that onto another plate because I'm running out of room on the chopping board. I always try and cut the vegetables up before the meat, obviously, because then it's easier to not contaminate everything else with the meat. Let's just pop them onto there. Perfect. For the radish itself, this is one that I used a little while ago. Probably only want about a couple of inches worth there. Just cut off the edges. If you don't have this, that's not the end of the world. This adds in nice sweetness to the dish, which is good. Also, it's got a nice crunch as well. So we're going to cut that up into reasonably small pieces. Cube that up, that sort of size. The shallots, we'll do the same again. Now, typically Jajangmyeon has quite a lot of onion in. Now I'm not actually a big fan of onion personally, so I don't tend to add too much in. And I know that sounds nuts because so many dishes require onion and it's got such great flavor. Now I love the flavor, just tends to be the texture. So when I do use it, I tend to pop it or chop it up very small and cook it off for quite a while so I don't notice the texture. So shallots, we're just going to chop that in half. That'll break down within the dish when we're cooking it. And that's the vegetables done. So the pork belly, this has just been in the freezer a little bit just to firm it up. Helps us to cut it. I'm just going to cut this into small bite-sized pieces. I find this just adds a nice depth of flavour into the dish. But like I said, when I was going through the ingredients, you don't necessarily have to use meat if you don't want to. I'm going to take some of this fat off because that probably won't render down. Just cut that in half and chop this into small pieces. The whole dish only takes about 20 minutes or so. Prep work's done. Let's get cooking. Get your frying pan nice and hot. A little bit of oil in there. And we're going to fry off the pork belly. Just going to cook this through. This will just take a couple of minutes. You don't want it all the way through because we're actually going to add in the rest of the vegetables at the same time. Okay, so starting to get a little bit of browning on the edges of the meat. It's time to add in the vegetables. And we're just going to cook this off probably for another 5, 6, 7 minutes, just until the potato starts to cook through. Meat is nicely cooked through. Vegetables are cooked until they're just starting to go tender. So it's time to make the rest of the sauce. In goes 1 clove of garlic, so I've minced that up. Just going to whiz that round for 10 seconds or so. Then on top of that in goes our black bean paste. And I'm using probably about 3 to 4 tablespoons here. And that's going to feed a family of 4. Just give that a good little mix round. Turn down the heat, and in goes 1.5 cups of water. So I always try to use hot water. It saves the pan from coming right down in temperature. And it's already starting to look something similar to what we would expect. So we're going to be letting this cook down a little bit, but as well as that, we're going to pop in sugar. Now, if you ever buy or eat jjajangmyeon in a restaurant, what you'll find is it's absolutely full of sugar, because to match the taste of the restaurant, you need to add probably double this. This is 2 tablespoons. You probably need to add in about 4 tablespoons or so, but because obviously I've got children, I just want to make sure that it's not quite as unhealthy, but it does taste good. So in goes the sugar. I'm just going to cook this down probably for another 5 minutes or so until it starts to thicken up. If you need it to thicken any more, you can always add a little bit of potato starch or corn flour into the mixture. Now is the perfect time to get your noodles cooking. Okay, so 10 minutes later, we've got nice thick sauce here with big chunks of meat, big chunks of vegetables. Perfect. Just going to add in a little bit of sesame oil, just about a tablespoon or so. Always add that in towards the end. It's got a very low burning point, but it adds that nice bit of flavour. Excellent. So it's time to serve up. In goes nice big helping portion of noodles. And some of our absolutely delicious jjajangmyeon sauce. Key is to make sure you always mix this through before you start eating it. But this is going to be great. Finally, let's just finish it off with a little garnish of cucumber. That is my Korean jjajangmyeon. Thank you for watching the video, really appreciate it. I'll be back with more recipes soon, guys. Take care.